All right, so today I am going to read our last special thing for the day is to read an end of the year book. So I'm going to read to you Last Day Blues. On the Monday morning before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell took attendance. She sighed as she called out the last name. "I'm going to miss all of you," she said. The kids nodded in agreement. "I'm going to miss my friends," said Shannon. "I'm going to miss Daisy," said Dan. "I'm going to miss chocolate, milk, and pizza for lunch," said Joe. Everyone felt a little blue thinking about the last day of school, even Daisy. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to show you Daisy, and I can guarantee you, promise you, that I will never have a Daisy in my classroom. Do y'all see Daisy? That afternoon, during recess, the students talked as they hung out on the jungle gym. Mrs. Hartwell said she's going to miss us, and Alexandra said Alexandra, swinging from the bar. "We should get a present to cheer her up," said Eddie, hanging upside down by his knees. But what could they get her? "I could give her the rest of my sandwich. It's my mom's bologna special," said Josh. "Or a coffee cup, or a new pen, the kind with feathers and beads." The students thought and thought, but couldn't come up with one single idea that they all agreed on. "We'll think of something tomorrow," Eddie assured everyone as they lined up at the drinking fountain. Oh, look at him shooting people with water. All right, let's see. On the Tuesday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell read the final page of their last read-aloud book. "I'm going to miss circle time," said Mrs. Hartwell. "I'm going to miss science," said Emily. "I'm going to miss seeing Mrs. Hartwell wear her safety goggles during science," said Jack, giggling. And so before they got too sad, Mrs. Hartwell put on her safety goggles one last time, just for fun. Mrs. Hartwell. So silly. "We'll definitely need to cheer Mrs. Hartwell up," said Auntie during recess as they jumped out of a swing. "Any ideas about a present?" Eddie asked. "Nope," they all answered back. On the Wednesday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell brought in her super duper sugar cookies with extra frosting. "I'm going to miss snack time, but I can't wait for barbecues by the pool," said Jack. "I'm going to miss recess, but I can't wait to play hide and seek outside after dinner," said Alexandra. "I'll miss school, but I can't wait for summer vacation," said Josh. The class discussed their summer plans and drowned their last day blues with another round of milk and sugar cookies. "I don't know whether to be happy or sad today," Andy said the minute they all arrived at the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell is sad," said Olivia. "She probably doesn't want the year to end." "While we're swimming, she'll be reading her old lesson plans," said Walker. "And while we're playing, she'll be trying to remember the fun times we had this year," said Dan. And that's when an idea zipped, zapped, and zinged through Eddie's brain. "I know exactly what will cheer her up," Eddie said, jumping up and down at the jungle gym. And the class agreed it was perfect. Oh, I can't wait to see what they come up with for Miss Hartwell. On the Thursday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Eddie raised his hand right after Mrs. Hartwell started language arts. "We need some privacy, please," he said. And so Mrs. Hartwell took down bulletin boards with her back to the class. She never even peeked. Well, only once. Teachers have to know what's going on. On the morning of the Friday, that was the Friday of the last day of school, the students dashed into the classroom. They snapped open the shades for the very last time. They did their chores for the very last time. They fed Daisy for the very last time. And as soon as the bell rang, they couldn't wait for Mrs. Hartwell to see her present for the very first time. So a little close-up of the classroom, all the boys and girls. You guys are so good. All right, and here we go. The last day of school makes us so blue. We'll miss recess and pizza and reading too. We'll miss Daisy and cookies and friendship true. Snack time and science and learning anew. We'll miss spelling bees for our test review and groundhogs that play peekaboo. The year's been great, a big wahoo! There are many things to miss, it's true, but mostly what we'll miss is you. Oh, they wrote Mrs. Hartwell a letter, and everybody drew a picture and signed it. So special. Later on, during recess, Eddie said, I think Mrs. Hartwell liked her present. I just hope it helps, Margaret said. Poor Miss Hartwell, they all said sadly as they pictured their final goodbye. Teachers must hate the last day of school. All the teachers are there crying. And then it was time. The bell rang. Goodbye, the students called as they rushed out the door. Goodbye, Mrs. Hartwell called after them. And then she turned to her empty classroom. It's just you and me, Daisy, she said. I'm sure going to miss them this summer. There's Miss Hartwell, she's saying goodbye, and there's her at her desk with Daisy. She's crazy sitting that close to a snake. But I can't wait for summer vacation. Look at those teachers. They are having a party. Can you believe that? And there is Mrs. Hartwell. Doesn't look like she's reading any lesson plans to me. Also doesn't look like she's crying over all those kids that left. She's at the beach and she's riding a boat and she's in a hammock. Wasn't that such a silly story about Mrs. Hartwell? But boys and girls, I am going to miss you so. And I cannot believe it is the last day of school already and that we have spent so many days together and that we've had to spend so many apart. But here's what I want to remind you of. I want to remind you that tonight is a special night at 7 o'clock. You are going to get an email to watch our awards on the computer. So you're going to get to see me in the classroom and you're going to get to see all the awards that your friends get. So I hope that you will watch tonight at 7 o'clock for our classroom awards. Also on Thursday, I cannot wait to see you in person. So I'm going to be at school all day looking for you to come see me. And I will send an email out on Wednesday morning to remind you, or maybe tonight, I don't know, sometime before Thursday to remind you of what to bring. You don't have that many things to bring to me actually. So I will send you an email so you know all that. But boys and girls, know that I do have the last day blues and I am missing you and I cannot believe that you are now almost a second grader. All right, I look forward to seeing you soon. Love you guys.